wow, this is a wild movie, right? I was not ready for the humor. I was like,
did you see it for the first time last
I did.
night? Okay,
I saw it for the first time last night at the premiere with the audience, which was really fun just to hear the reactions. So you've got a little bromance going on in this. The friendship between Sensei and Bob is something else and very funny in parts. So how fun was that, Leo, to
I think it just kind of came naturally. I mean, I've been wanting to work with this guy who's one of the great actors of our time. I mean, for 20 plus years now. And I don't know, there was a camaraderie. We understood these characters. They were against all odds. I'm a revolutionary, that my past comes to haunt me. They're after my daughter. And I got nothing. And I go to him. And what does he have? He's got nunchucks, you know what I mean? And then we're on the road together going against this oppressive military force and this insane, wild ride of tension, and I think the audience just kind of goes with us because we're against all odds in this movie. I mean, and we're kind of making it up as we go along.
Right.
And Benicio came in halfway during filming, and he was like, no, my character's got to do this, I've got these connections. And that changed the whole land. That's what's great about Paul. He's like, great idea. And that, it kind of organically just happened on the spot, weirdly. We were doing a lot of improvising because of the shift in the storyline.
Were you improvising when you did that little move when you got pulled over by the police? And you,
a little bit. With Paul's consent, you know. Yeah.
Pure Paul's
of course.
consent.
Yeah, you run it by him, but it's easy, you know. And I'm working with Leo. It's just, it's, you know, for me it was really like Leo brought the energy, right? And all I needed to do is just corral that energy in a way as my character. That's what I'm doing in there. And I think it was really interesting how it developed into this friendship, and then the friendship was kind of there, but what it developed was this kind of like this thing, like sometimes water is thicker than blood, you know, and it's the family that you make that really comes out and sacrifices itself for your cause, and that's what my character does. I mean, I end up getting arrested. You know, we don't want to like, but you already put me in that moment. You know,
I already put you on that moment.
But so that's you know, and the audience was really into it. You know, and that's something I didn't know that would happen, but it was really nice to feel it last night. You know, that connection between the relationship that Leo and my character, we have, and you know, because it's a section of the film keeps going, you know, and it pumps up, you know.
It really does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Leo, the humor, you know, because it's so funny, but then obviously there's a serious subject matter. So was it ever intense, hard, juggling the intensity and the humor of the film?
I think that kind of naturally happens from the setup of these characters that he creates. I mean, the fact that I'm this ex-revolutionary that is fighting for a cause and now is trying to become a dad, yet he's paranoid and anti-government and feels like everyone's watching him, yet does his daughter have a cell phone? No, you got to stay in the house. The differentiation between generations, how they can't relate to, no one can relate to each other nowadays. The humor came from the context of the imagination of what Paul created, and he was fixated on, you know, extremism on both sides and how, you know, people aren't connecting or agreeing on anything nowadays. And at the heart of it is this man trying to just save his daughter, and yet he has no weapons, he can't facilitate anything to get an advantage. He's stoned half of the movie. He's in his robe and he's running around aimlessly.
Sunglasses.
I mean, the fact that Paul just created that sort of microcosm of dynamics, I think the humor just comes out naturally. Yes. Don't you agree?
Well, you bring yourself to it too, and you do that too.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely
you know, the way you take that.
Seriously.
What was it? The stunt gun? The stunt gun. It's like, oh, so good.
Steven Spielberg is raving about the movie. So even though you're like two titans of the screen, when you hear like a review from that, like that from Steven, how does that hit?
It's the ultimate stamp of approval right there, Spielberg. I mean, He related it to a Kubrick sort of Doctor Strangelove. For anyone out there who hasn't seen Doctor Strangelove, it's got political parts to it, but it's also this insane comedy world of extremisms, ridiculousness. I mean, and if he can capture, and Paul captured something like that, and Spielberg said something relating to that, I mean, that's, for me, that's like the greatest compliment and achievement we could get.
What did that mean to you, Benicio?
Well, I think that it has like what, you know, there's one Spielberg who can make movies that are like very human and at the same time very commercial and very popular, you know.
Yeah.
He does his cinema like, that is like very Spielberg, that is almost like, I would say Spielberg movies, which is like they're big events and everybody turns to them and everybody is emotionally connected to those stories, even though those movies can be really big. And I think this movie has that. You know, I think there's something very Spielberg to this film, and it reminds me a little bit of Spielberg's first movie, The Duel. There's elements of there's moments like that are very much like from that movie. I think, you know, and Paul is friends with Spielberg, right? Yeah. So. Yeah.
So, Leo, I know you've been waiting 20 years to work with Paul Thomas Anderson, and as you spoke about, you turned down Boogie Nights for a movie that did pretty well, didn't it? The movie you picked did good. So what was it about this project that was the right one to work with Paul on?
If I'm being honest, you know, I would have done anything with Paul to be in that microcosm, that world, and to create with him. I thought, you know, I talk about Boogie Nights all the time. I just thought that was generationally one of the greatest films of my lifetime to see in theaters. And, you know, it's been a long time since we got to talk again and find the right project. But I love films that have a tremendous amount of thought put into them. And Paul's been stewing on this subject matter, the idea of, you know, extremism, the idea of where we are as a society, but making it this epic odyssey that is just completely unpredictable, with characters that you're questioning every intention of everybody, and the idea of the Christmas adventures. It's just so permeated into the fabric of where we are in today's society, but it's hilarious, you know. Of course I'm gonna be a part of that, and you know, what can I say about working with Paul except that, you know, he really allows you to take ownership of your character and go where you need to go. And I'd love to do it again.
It's so good. Congratulations. It's just so original and so different and so hilarious, like you say.